Assalamualikum OyaRahmatullahe OyaBarakatuhu. Innal hamdanillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Muhammad Kamrul Hussain, Department of Business Administration, Metropolitan University, Sylhet. Welcome to my virtual classroom, MKA Classroom. Now let's start today's video tutorial. Now we will try to see public finance in the eye of classical view. That means classical economists, what type of their opinion regarding the public finance. Actually, that is called classical views of public finance. So, in the eye of classical public finance, we have seen that there has several assumptions that there has a competitive economy, ensures the full employment of resources, and they assumed private enterprise, competitive economy automatically ensures full employment of resources. So, if the ensures the full employment of resources or optimally utilize resources, so there need not to interfere government in the economic matters. So, on the basis of these assumptions, classical economists laid down certain principles of public finance. So, here we will see the principles of public finance on the view of classical economists. So, obviously, there are the principles of classical economists, economy on the viewpoint of public finance. So, here has said that these principles is that keep the budget as small as possible. Budget should be balanced and borrow only for the productive purpose. Pay off debt as soon as possible and tax consumptions rather than tax savings. So, obviously, these should be based on assumptions. What is these assumptions? In the economy there has the private enterprise, and there has the competitive economy, and this competitive economy automatically ensures the full employment of resources. Actually, these are the assumptions of these classical views of public finance, or you can call it the principles of public finance of classical views. So, now we will try to discuss this matter. First one, keep the budget as small as possible. So, it says that there has assumed that private enterprise ensures ideal uses of economic resources and then withdrawal of resources from the private sector to the government must involves less efficient use of resources. So, of course, the government needs some resources to carry on nominal activities, but interest of efficiency, it is desirable that the size of government draft on private resources should remain as small as possible. Otherwise, there will be an unduly wasteful of resources. So, here I say it, if the budget is not small, there has a possibility of wasteful of resources. That is why the budget should be as small as possible. Then the budget should be balanced, or keep the budget balanced. Balanced means income equal to expenditure, income equal to expenditures, that is the balanced budget. So, and the classical economists said that the budget should be the balanced. So, in a situation of full employment, if the government increase its expenditure without increasing the revenue, there will be led to the inflationary situation in the economy. That is why the price will be high. Increase the price. So, classical economic theory does not support the deficit budget, because it creates the inflation in the economy. That is why it has said keep the budget as small as possible and keep the budget balanced. Try to avoid all kinds of inflationary situation in the economy. Pro, then we see borrow from productive purpose. If the government borrow for its expenditure, then that should be used for the purpose of productive ways. So, then it will be helpful for the economy. That means that fund should be used for generating employment, as like establishment of factories, establishment of fields which are going to produce crops or corns. So, that would be the productive purpose. If it is necessary for the state to borrow, otherwise it is not a need not to borrow. In the classical view, it is not supported to borrow by the government, but if it is necessary, then it should borrow. A state to borrow, then the borrowing must be conformed to financing of productive enterprise. Otherwise, borrowing will mean withdrawal of resources from their more productive use in the private sector to less productive use by the government. So, pay off the debt as soon as possible. So, that is the another principles. Pay off the debt as soon as possible or at earliest date. A debt of government generally represents an opportunity that has been wasted. So, if the government borrow or fund from the outside, generally it should be the wasted. That is why in the classical economists said that it should be pay off the debt as soon as possible. Hence, the government should try to repay its debt at early as possible. Then tax consumptions rather than tax savings. So, if the government impose tax on savings, then it reduces the capital formation in the economy. The peoples are not encouraging to save their fund because government imposed on tax on their savings. So, it is not supported by the classical economist. What are they suggest? They suggest tax should be imposed on consumptions. That means whenever we consume, it's like whenever you purchase a pen, you have to pay tax. That is the fact. So, if want to pay off public debt, it is necessary to increase taxations. For this purpose, the government should tax the consumptions of people, but not savings. For a tax on savings will reduce the rate of capital formation in the economy. So, this is actually the principles of public finance of classical views. So, what is this? The budget should be small and as much as small, it should be balanced, borrow only for the productive purposes, pay off the debt at earliest, and tax consumptions rather than tax savings. This all about today. Stay home, stay safe, try to maintain a safe social distance, try to wash your hands frequently in a day. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaika. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu.